Almost every faith keeps one name hidden. It's true, right? You see this universal trope time and time again across global cultures, a divine name kept totally secret, reserved only for the initiated. But the text we're analyzing today, it takes a much stranger, far more complex approach. It doesn't just hide the name, it encrypts the name into one single syllable. And then, paradoxically, it commands its constant repetition as a mechanism for survival. So, what is this name? Why put it in code? And how exactly is repeating it supposed to act as a shield? Okay, let's dive into this. To understand the code, we really need to grasp the source. Our empirical data today comes from the Bhavishya Malika. This is a massive body of 16th century Odia palm leaf prophecies from eastern India. We are going to treat this text exactly as what it is, historical, empirical data. It essentially audits the current age and prescribes an exact, unyielding solution for the end of it. Now, the authors of the Bhavishya Malika are known as the Panchasakha, and I want to be absolutely clear here. These were 5 great saints. They were not poets. They were great men who recorded precisely what was to come. They weren't just inventing a creative story. They encrypted divine name into one single syllable, and then they command its repetition as an absolute necessity. To unpack all of this, here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with Chapter 1, the Cipher, then Chapter 2, the Secret, Chapter 3, the Identity, and finally Chapter 4, the Shield. Chapter 1, the Cipher. So how exactly does the text mathematically build the Lord's secret name for this age? Well, the texts absolutely do not leave us guessing. According to the book Patamadana, authored by the great saint Shishu Anantadas, right there on page 39, we are given the exact answer. The text states, the Lord's one secret Ekakshar name is built from coded syllables, beginning with Om. It reveals unequivocally that this hidden name is Madhava. Now, a critical point of clarification here. The text uses the term Ekakshara. Let me speak plainly to you about this Ekakshara. Ekakshara is simply the text's specific term for a coded seed syllable. It is not a claim that Madhava is somehow one single spoken letter. We should absolutely not go inventing some wild letter-by-letter decode or creative etymology. The text is giving us a conceptual cipher, a seed from which the name Madhava grows. Chapter 2, the Secret. If this name is the ultimate key to navigating the end of an age, why was it kept under lock and key by the great saints? Why not just shout it from the rooftops? So the crucial point is found directly in the command given by the saints themselves. According to Mahaprabhu Padmakalpa, written by Achyutananda Das, chapter 11, page 60, there is a very strict instruction. Keep this secret in your heart. The text explicitly warns against revealing this secret to the unworthy. God's identity is hidden by design. Furthermore, the text distinguishes exactly how this divine presence manifests, carefully separating the human form from the destruction phase. According to the Bhavishya Malika, the human name in the world is Sri Sri Satya Ananta Madhava. It's only later, in the final destroying phase, that the text applies the name Kalki Rama. Chapter 3, the Identity. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the text unifies what might seem like completely different historical avatars into one seamless identity. According to Achyutananda Das in the text Tira Janmasharana on pages 44 and 84, there's literally no separation. Ram, Krishna, and Madhava are entirely identical in identity. The Supreme Lord takes different names across different ages, but they are exactly the same one. And the text takes this a step further, providing a literal decryption code for the famous 16-name Hare Krishna mantra. Sourced directly from Vanitika Bayashabanta page 40, here is the decode. Ram corresponds to Balabhadra. Krishna corresponds to Jagannath. Hare corresponds to Sudarshana. And the doubled Hare Hare corresponds to Mahalakshmi Yogamaya. This isn't just a quoted verse, guys. It is a mechanical decryption code showing that the daily chant already contains every form the devotees are asked to recognize. But here is where theory becomes action. A secret name you can't say is useless as a shield, so the text tells you to repeat it 3 times a day. Chapter 4, the Shield. So how does repeating this decoded name actually operate physically and spiritually as a protective mechanism? Well, the practice is called Trisandhya. Trisandhya simply means worship performed at the 3 twilights of the day. According to the Sudharma Mahamaha Song teaching document, this specific timed repetition is considered the chief protection of our current turbulent age. The process is wonderfully simple and steady. Practitioners recite the 16 names at the morning twilight, the noon twilight, and the evening twilight. And according to the texts Kuta Malika on page 49 and Kalki Gita by Achyutananda Das, Adhyaya 1, page 4, performing this Trisandhya ensures that the devotee is recognized by the divine when the upheaval of the age arrives. The text attributes absolute power to this act. In Kavita Kanda by Achyutananda Das, page 28, chapter 220, it confirms it unequivocally. Chanting the Madhava name is the chariot of liberation in Kali Yuga. It is the literal vehicle out of the darkness. Now, let's step outside the text for just a second for an honest science analogy. And to be clear, this is an analogy, not scripture. Back in 2001, the British Medical Journal published a study by Bernardi et al. Showing that rhythmic recited prayer naturally slows human breathing to about 6 breaths per minute and steadies the heart. Scientifically, rhythmic repetition physically anchors a mind. This makes no claims about the divinity of the name, but it perfectly explains why steady repetition serves as an internal biological shield against panic and chaos. So the shield the Malika speaks of isn't some magic sound wave that repels physical objects. The shield is remembrance. It's a daily, steady practice that keeps a devotee anchored and recognizable to a hidden Lord. And remarkably, it is a zero-cost path. The text demands absolutely no money, requiring only the repetition of the name, the practice of Trisandhya, and reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate point of the Bhavishya Malika. It does not end its story in the dark. It is not a prophecy of sheer doom. The texts point steadily toward hope, stating that the Satya Yuga, the age of truth, begins in the year 2032. The current turmoil? It's just the twilight before that dawn. If you want to look deeper into this audit of our age and the practices it prescribes, you can review the resources we've listed on screen. I also want to credit Pandit Dr. Sri Kashinath Mishra for providing the foundational research and insights that made this explainer possible. The text leaves the choice entirely up to the reader. It demands nothing, but it offers a specific path through the twilight. So the only thing left to ask is this: of all the words you will say tomorrow, will one of them be his?